What's up everyone? Welcome back to another training video. I'm Coach Sebastian, and in today's video I'm going to be walking you through some of the basics, some of the fundamentals to striking. Right now you'll see that I'm working with a member, and this is actually the final round, and we're putting together everything we've been learning for today's session into this clip. And in the beginning of the video, what I really want to cover is the fundamentals. So if you ever wanted to learn how to start striking, this video is going to be perfect for you because I'm going to be talking about your stance, basic striking, attacking movements and defending movements, footwork, and proper mechanics to striking throughout the video. And it is a longer video, so this is going to be perfect for you if you have some time just to sit and grab a coffee. I got my coffee here to the left of me, and I'm just talking through the video of everything that you should learn if you're really interested in learning how to start to train Muay Thai or kickboxing. This will even apply to you if you want to learn the basics of boxing or martial arts as a whole, because if you're learning striking, you're pretty much learning similar techniques, going through basic punch count, roundhouse kicks, push kicks, basic blocks for defense. And this member, we've only worked together a few times, but he wanted to take his striking to the next level. And he has a background in, I believe, baseball and some karate, but he's very strong. He's very athletic already. So now it's just how do we translate what he knows now into Muay Thai or kickboxing? And you'll see in the beginning of the video where we get started, we're going to start to cover, first thing is going to be stance. Right now, as you can see, this round is the final round. This is actually the end of the video, but I want to put it here in the beginning so you can see at a faster pace. We're putting all of this together in today's video. This will be covering everything he's learned, such as you can see he's throwing straight punches, uppercuts, hooks, crosses, his round kick corrections, his blocking, his footwork. And in the video, I'm going to cover all of this. You see how we're circling there? How do you do circular footwork? How do you do other types of footwork, moving forward, backwards, left, right? How do you slip? How do you maintain and manage distance from your opponent? How do you do basic blocks such as parry? And this is the final round, so I'm just making sure that he's having fun. We're starting to put everything together at a faster pace. And like I said, we're going to be learning more about this in today's video. It is a longer video, so hopefully you have some time, or you can watch it coming back to it, and you'll get an insight on how I apply training to anyone that's learning the beginner to advanced combinations for Muay Thai, or striking if you want to call it. Here we go. Alright, so first things first, your stance. What I'm telling him is, when I learned Muay Thai in Thailand, I learned to stand square. Square hips, meaning you're head on, right? Your stomach's facing forward, you're more squared up in your stance. And in Muay Thai, you preferably want to do that because you're checking kicks on your left and right side. So you can see that I'm showing him how to block. And I'm telling him when you punch, you want to open up your elbows to create space for your shin to come up and block. And I do the elbow on the outside. That's how it was taught to me. And I'm telling him when you're boxing though, you still want to tuck your elbows so that way your punches are a bit more straight. But now we're getting into footwork, and we're going to go each direction 4 ways. And when you learn footwork, you usually want to step with the way you're going. So if I'm going forward, I want to step with my lead foot first. If I'm going backwards, I want to step with my rear foot first. The other thing I'm telling them is managing your balance. You never want to feel like you're really falling over or falling backwards. You want to find your center of gravity, so you want to stand nice athletic base, shoulder width apart. So now we're going to rep it out, making sure our guard is up. We're going back foot, front foot. If we're going backwards, if we're going left, we're stepping with our left foot first, maintaining distance in our stance between our feet. So we're going forward, and I'm asking him to mirror me, going backwards, and I'm talking him through little by little, like what I'm expecting, like to go to his right foot should go first. And what I'm telling him here is that you don't want to let people get an angle on you. That's usually when bad things happen, when someone cuts an angle. They're coming forward, maintaining distance with your jab or your lead hand. So whether you're probing towards your opponent or you're keeping them away from you, you have that jab or reaching or your measuring stick to maintain your distance between you and your opponent. So footwork, you'll see we're repping it out, going forward, going backwards. The reason I'm in front of him is to make it more realistic towards like sparring. He said one of his goals is to get more comfortable with sparring. So I feel like if I can apply this technique of me being in front of him, he's learning to understand what it's like to have someone in front of you and maintaining and managing your distance and your footwork and your balance. You'll see he's kind of bringing his feet kind of close together, but it's not that bad. I'm more so focused that he's stepping with the direction he's going. So lead foot, rear foot, because he's going forward. So this is going to be circular footwork, okay? This is how you don't let someone get to the side of you, or you move away from the power hand. You circle away from it. This is more of a power step. So power step is more explosive. You see how I was coming towards him explosively and also back. So you get in, you get out quick, power. Power step forward, power step back. So he's doing power step back, I'm doing power step forward, okay? So right now we're just still going through some of the basics on footwork. There's another type of footwork which is like a shuffle, which I'm doing now. So you want to bring your feet together and then apart, okay, replacing your foot. So you're replacing your lead foot with your back leg and then you move your lead foot forward. So feet together, feet apart. And you can shuffle forward, you can shuffle laterally, or you can call this like kind of like a gallop step if you want to. Galloping towards your opponent, galloping away. And depending on your stance, whether you're narrow or square, it'll be easier to shuffle forward or reverse. So if you're bladed, it's easier to shuffle forward. If you're more square on your stance, it's easier to shuffle laterally. But either way, you should be able to do it regardless in both of the directions. And you can do it for speed once you get more comfortable in your balance and you've been practicing. So there's a quick shuffle. And the reason why you want to, in my opinion, learn a shuffle step is because it opens up new techniques for kicking. So like a shuffle round kick, for example, or a shuffle inside leg kick versus like a standard step or a standard step pivot. So now at this part of the video, I'm letting him kind of practice or shadow what he's been learning in this first part of the video or first part of the lesson. So I'm wanting him to get used to his own balance, getting him used to the footworks we just practiced being a step, a power step, a shuffle step, circular footwork, going forward and reverse, going laterally. When it comes to like cutting off the octagon, that's a different story. But for now, I just mainly want to focus on movement, getting used to your body moving, finding your balance with these different kinds of footwork. And for the most part, I will usually run this play like pretty standard for most beginners because you need to learn how to have good footwork and balance. In my opinion, before you even really start learning how to strike. But you'll see coming up next in the video is uh, we're going to do punching and moving, right? So using your punches and setting up your punches with good footwork. So that way you have good balance. Hands high in his guard, at least protecting one side of your face. So now we're working double jab or jab and step, turn the hip, cross. Nice straight punches, you're 1 and 2. If you don't know, jab in most schools is 1. And 2 is your straight right or your cross. So 1, 1, 2. So now I want him to go backwards. And to go backwards, it's opposite body parts. So your left hand, right foot. Your right hand, left foot. And it's small movements. Okay? So now he's striking going backwards. 1, 2. He's doing a good job of keeping his guard up. He's punching nice and straight. He's using his full reach. And this is something you're going to want to shadow. Jab, jab, cross. 1, 2, retreating or reverse. So coordinating the body. Double jab, step and jab, turn the hip, cross. He's doing a good job of keeping his guard up, and he's having one hand in his guard and the other hand is attacking, which is perfect. Sometimes beginners will drop their hands quite often, which I try not to have them do. He's pushing off the back foot a little bit. Some of them you'll see he's dragging, but that's okay. It's not going to be perfect. Like, let's say you're learning or you start working with a coach or you start like going to a martial arts gym. You're going to learn and improve over time. The main thing like in this lesson is that he's learning the fundamentals and he's making those small incremental movements to improve his striking, at least from my opinion. So right now we're doing parry with his right hand. So he's blocking my jab with his right hand by doing a parry, and he's countering with a jab cross. Parry, jab cross. Parry, backing up, I'm attacking, he's defending, and then he counters. Moving forward, parry, jab cross. Parry, jab cross. So protecting his center line. Same thing, a few more parries. Now we're adding on to it. Parry, a jab cross hook. And he's very strong. Like his punches are super stiff. One thing that I would say is when you're strong, well, what I find when a lot of guys are strong is they try to compensate for power. Whereas in my opinion, when you're learning, you want to learn tense, relax. When to be tense, when to relax, right? If you're always tense, you're going to tire out faster. And when you're super tense, you focus on strength and power. So now you're usually more stiff. You kind of don't bring your punches back sometimes, or you're not rotating a certain body part. And you see it's just pushing through. It's not like snappy. where he's not snapping that hook back. You can see it right there. It's forceful. He's not snapping it back. He's not really turning his hip over that good. And he's dropping his cross hand. So I'm telling him, if you want power, load up your shoulders and bring that elbow in line with your shoulder and rotate the hip, concentrating on the big knuckles. And you can hook palm facing you, palm facing down. Both are fine. It's just like preference and timing. And you want to do a tense relax. Sometimes it's my fault. Like some guys are really strong and it's hard for me to hold it. Um, so it just depends. But a lot of times beginners too, they kind of don't get the palm. They don't punch the mitt in the palm. They kind of clip sometimes. What you'll notice sometimes he does. Now I'm just checking, making sure he's awake and keeping his right hand up. Parry, jab, cross, hook, cross, hook, cross. So that's a bit longer of a combo. Parry, jab, cross, hook, cross, block right after. So he's defending with his rear hand as a concept, right? You're using that rear hand to defend hooks on the right side and to parry for the center line. So he's defending my jab or my lead hand this round. I'm throwing straight punches, I'm throwing hooks with my lead hand, and he's defending that with his right hand. Block and jab, block and jab. High jab, low jab. So I'm kind of just testing him out too, a little bit, seeing what I can get out of him and how he responds to me throwing new techniques at him. But for the most part, this is all basics. Like I want to cover basics here. But because he's athletic, I also want to make it fun. I want to make it a bit challenging. But sometimes even I have to slow it down because I get carried away too. I just get like excited sometimes when I teach or coach. And I don't want like to rush though. Like if I feel like someone's not getting a concept and I need to slow down, then I'll focus on that. But going back to power or being stiff, when you're striking, you want to flow. So you don't always want to have like a kill shot each time. You want to flow, especially when you're doing combinations. You need to let the body naturally move so you can punch or strike and move, right? Sometimes guys are very stationary and they can hit super heavy, but when you need to be able to do both, like sit on your punches and flow and move with your punches, in my opinion. And coming up to the next part of the video. Jab, lead hook, cross. Jab, lead hook, cross. Jab, lead hook, cross. So we're going to repeat that a couple times. So after that jab, you're kind of sidestepping to the left or your lead hook side to line up the cross, and the hook is coming behind the guard. Because you throw the jab, and usually some guys are going to parry the jab, you come to the side with a hook. So after the cross, he's going under and countering. Jab, lead hook, cross, under, cross, uppercut, cross. So it's very common to do that duck under that we're working on right here. When you throw the cross or the rear hand, which is going to be your six or rear uppercut, to roll under that hook on the lead side. So we're covering that. The other thing we're kind of covering, I believe, here in this part of the video is 3-punch combos. So not so much singles or doubles, but 3-punch combinations. So there's a side step as you go under, creating a bit of an angle change, going under, cross, lead hook, cross, counter. So sometimes when people go under, they'll step too far away. You kind of have to be close enough to counter right away too. So you don't want to go too far back. You more so want to go like underneath that hook and close enough to the body to counter. So we're going to work this, I guess, for this round. And I'll just give a couple more tips here. Let's see. Jab, lead hook, cross. Good. So the other thing I would say as a beginner or moving is that you want to learn when to hit hard or when to have speed or when to have more defense and be aware of your balance. So a lot of times when I coach, I'll sometimes do speed power rounds or defense rounds. So this would kind of be like a mixture, I would say, in my opinion. But it's also up to the striker, whoever's striking, to have that control and know when a shot should be for power. So right now I'm trying to get him to dig, actually, like use his power to go for a body shot. So the other thing I would say is like mechanics on the punches. I haven't seen him punch that much. So being able to go through the 6-punch number or count, meaning jab, cross, lead hook, lead uppercut, rear uppercut. You'll see like the mechanics of like some people, like when you hold pads or train for a while, some people are very stiff and some punches they're like super good at. They'll be like good at straight punches, and then you get them to throw a hook or uppercut and it's just like the mechanics go like out the window. It's very forceful. They drop their guard, they flare an elbow. It just like, what just happened? You like were clean on your strike and form, but then you throw a new combo or a new technique, even something as basic as an uppercut. And for me, I see that happen a lot of guys that want to force like a lot of power instead of letting the body roll with it and go with the momentum. So you'll see he's forcing all these uppercuts. That's why I brought this up. And they're powerful, no problem. It's going to hurt if you connect, but it's just like not clean. He's dropping his guard. He's forcing it. He's rushing. All right, going into round kicks now on the pads. So this is going to be your stance. A horizontal standing leg on the pivot, a nice straight leg connecting with the shin. Hand is up, protecting. So the kicking side is also the chopping side, I would say. So he actually is very strong and he has a strong lower body. But guys, let me tell you, when you're strong and you're getting into martial arts or kicking or punching, let's say you could bench a lot, let's say you can uh, squat a lot, deadlift a lot. If you don't have the mechanics to translate it to like a sport or like into martial arts, sometimes you'll see guys even smaller kick harder than someone who's big just because they don't have the technique yet. So like I'm kind of excited. Like once he gets his kicks down, you'll see later in the video, he starts to get his form and his power starts to come out. At first, it's kind of forceful, and he's like not turning his hips, his shoulders. He's just like snapping it from his quad, and I'm trying to get him to rotate his shoulders, turn his hip through on the kick, and pivot on the standing leg, and use your arms for momentum, but still having clean form with the arms. Sometimes you'll see a lot of guys just like flare their arms all over the place. So I try to make sure that one hand is guarding the face at least. So let's see if I could point some of this technique out. One, two, rear side round kick. One, one, two, rear side round kick, two. Body hook, kick. So he's turning a bit here on that standing leg. Body hook cross. 2, 3. 2, 3. And for being a beginner, this is all fine. Like, he's not doing horrible on his form on anything really, besides those uppercuts a bit ago. When I was a beginner, I would just rep like the basics like hundreds of times and making sure everything felt like proper. Hand was always defending and using the legs for power. So that's what I'm trying to get out of him right here. Cross, kick. You'll see some of these he doesn't rotate, some he does, no problem. It's more so that the technique is clean, I would say majority of the time. Side step out the way. So this video is like older. Sometimes I don't remember everything I told them. And sometimes I can hear, but there's like music in the background. That's why I don't have the volume on and I'm doing a voiceover. So it doesn't get taken down. But jab, and he's slipping out the way and going 5 to the body or 3 to the body. If you want to call it an uppercut, go for it. If you want to call it a body hook, go for it. To me, it's kind of the same. There's a slight difference, but now he's going jab. He's slipping my cross and going to the body. So jab, low high hook, and then rear side round kick. So let's say you are a beginner, you're going to learn that there's certain patterns in striking, combinations or sequences that are common. Like almost everyone learns them, everyone teaches them. 1 punch combo, 2 punch, 3 punch, 2 punch with some kicks, 3 punch with some kicks. When it becomes more advanced, it's kind of a bit more strategical. Certain parts of the body you're trying to hit, certain reasons why, certain flows. Every pad holder is a bit different. Every coach is a bit different. Going backwards, slipping, maintaining defense, getting the head off the center line. Coming forward, slip, slip, slip. And the slip is just turning the shoulders, turning the hips a little bit, getting the head out the way. Round kick, round kick, round kick. Keep going. Boom. Turn the hips, turn the shoulders. Here I'm just letting him rep it out. You'll see like there's even a big difference right here between his right and left kick on as far as rotation or pivoting. cross. So here we're talking about checking. I don't have my shin guards on and he doesn't either, but I'm explaining to him the concept of checking kicks in an L shape on your leg, a V shape in the hips. So I'm going to ask him to punch and then shadow a kick just to get used to the motion of defending a round kick if it were to happen. So you don't want to bring the leg in back of you. You need it to be in front, right? You need to defend the kick in the front. And it's always really good to, um, in my opinion, have good balance. So like that means you're not falling over on your punches, you're not leaning too far forward, you feel like nice athletic base in your legs. Um, Even on your checking, like you should be able to hold that knee up and balance no problem for at least 10 seconds on each leg. And that's only if you're like shadowing, not like for real though. So coming into a combination off of that. 1, 2, check. So elbow on the inside, not the outside. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. So this is a common drill too. 1, 2, check, down, kick. So it's actually not that common. It's becoming more common now. Like you'll see in videos or even people training on heavy bags. When I was learning, it wasn't that common to see in videos of people shadowing, checking. Or even like lots of sweeping. And now you can find it like all over on YouTube, I think. So let's say you're hitting the heavy bag, you shadow a check kick, and then you return a kick. Check, down. When you first start blocking kicks, like with the check, some people have the tendency to let the leg collapse. You have to learn to trust the defense, meaning you don't need to do anything extra. Just make the leg in an L shape. Let your partner connect on a drill. And that's why it's good to both wear shin guards so you can practice it. But a lot of times people will still bend the leg like out of like fear or whatever reason that they're doing it. You just have to like relax and like trust what's happening. And if your partner's kicking too hard, let them know. Like slow down. I try not to rush, and like the reason why this video is long, well, one, we're doing like an hour session. But two, I feel like if you can learn without rushing, then you can learn faster. If you can learn under like a relaxed state, sure you'll learn when to like let it out and let loose, but right now we're just drilling the basics. And you'll see like in the later rounds we pick it up, and once I feel like we got what we need to learn, now we can pick up and flow on the pads. So for this part of the video, this is going to be coming up into the end. And if you're at this point, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you have questions or if you feel like there's something I should cover or didn't cover, let me know. I'm open to learning as well. But here, he's just shadowing everything we've been learning. At the beginning of the video, you saw the final pad work session, meaning we put everything together. This is coming to the end of that, and I'm letting him shadow what he's been learning. And you'll see like Some of these combinations he remembers, some go out the window, some of the technique goes out the window, and that's okay. Um, you want to try to remember and have takeaways each lesson that you learn, each class you go to for Muay Thai, each class for boxing, each class for Jiu-Jitsu. If you can take away just a couple things and remember them very well, you're going to learn over time. So like you can see like on the kicks, it's still a bit like kind of choppy. It's not super fluid. It's a lot of like quad dominant. Some people will do like a good chamber and snap. Some people swing their round kicks like a bat. If you can do both and learn when to do both, that's great. So there goes his slips going backwards with some parries. Nice. Coming forward, countering. Slip, follow, slip, follow. So you can parry with the rear hand or the lead hand. Going underneath. I'm just going over some final pointers here. And I'm telling him we're going to learn to block kicks with our hands. And I'm asking him to kick me. And I'm just letting him work those round kicks for practice. For people that train, it's like you think, oh, it's so easy. But a lot of people don't know like certain techniques, and some things are complicated for people, like body coordination, knowing how to block a kick, how to protect your face, how to protect your body with your arms. But you learn over time. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked the video, found it helpful, I got more coming up, so make sure to like and subscribe. Peace. Have a great day. Talk to you later. See you in the next video.